So if you are tired of hearing my opinion, well, this is a good one for you, because today we're going over what our YouTube audience thinks. What did you wish that you knew before moving to or coming to San Diego? And that's exactly what we're talking about today. My name is Dan Perker with the Best Life Home team, and I work with a lot of people relocating here to San Diego. And although generally the feedback is really positive about people living here and moving here, there are definitely frustrations, unexpected annoyances, some of which you aren't going to believe. But I'd like to know your thoughts as well. If there was something that you wish you knew before visiting or moving to San Diego, or if you regretted moving here altogether, let us know in the comments. So the first comment we got is from Clancy Smith. He said, a lot of people will come and go from San Diego. Some of my best friends I met in San Diego 3 to 4 years ago don't live here anymore. Now this one I can relate with. I recently had some friends move to Boise, Idaho, some really good friends, and they got up and moved because they couldn't afford a house here. And generally there are two main reasons why people move from San Diego. They leave San Diego. Usually it has to do with affordability, whether it's just too expensive to live here or they really want to become homeowners and they just can't see that happening with the rate that home prices continue to go up. Or number two, frustrations with government and local politics. And really the two biggest categories I see of people that are frustrated with the government enough to leave San Diego are people that own small businesses or are retirees that are just trying to pay less in taxes. Sure, we definitely have more progressive policy here, but it's fairly balanced when it comes to general population. When you're out talking to people and having conversations, there are way more people that are middle ground as opposed to being on the left or on the right. So yes, I think most people that live here in San Diego know people that have moved away from San Diego, but it's far from a major exodus. That's just not happening. On the flip side of this coin, what I can tell you is if you're looking to relocate here, you are going to have a lot of people, a lot of friends wanting to come and visit. So that is kind of a positive there. And next up we have Dawn Whitaker, who says, frankly, when I moved here in 1992, I was fairly prepared. I seriously can't think of anything I wish I had known beforehand. I had a job, I knew where I wanted to live, we knew we wanted our kids in the Poway School District, etc. The house we bought in 1994 for $250,000 cost 4 times more than what we sold our house for in Phoenix in 1992. We had kids and money was tight, but we figured out how to make it work. Now the house is worth around $1.7 million and we have no house payments anymore. I will also add that he's saving a ton of money on property tax because he's owned that house for so long. Because of Prop 13, property tax can only go up maximum 2% on an annual basis. So when home prices go up 20%, your property tax is only going up a max of 2%. So you get a huge benefit of living in a house for a long period of time. Don, congratulations. I love to hear stories like this. This is what I like to call the California dream. You know, people make a sacrifice to move here. A lot of times it's going to be financial. No matter how much money you make, unless you're a multi-billionaire, you're going to have to sacrifice on where you're living here in San Diego. But hopefully over time, that's going to end up being in your benefit because of home values increasing. Yes, it takes a lot to get your foot in the door here in California, especially when you're coming from a market like Arizona. But people want to live here and very few places are being built. Home prices tend to increase at a much higher rate here, which is how people go from having a starter home to an upgraded 4-bedroom property in a prime school district. Building that equity helps you get into that next property and build generational wealth. And as a little segue, this isn't a comment that we received on the channel, but something that I've heard over and over from my clients over the year. It gets cold here in San Diego. Okay, it doesn't snow here, and I'm not gonna say that this is a complaint by any stretch of the imagination. The jacket I wear more often than not doesn't even have sleeves. It's a puffy vest, so that can tell you something right there. But I always crack up at people that move from these really cold climates in places like Washington, DC, New York, Chicago, and they laugh at San Diegans for wearing jackets and hoodies, but ultimately, they fall in line. Now, San Diego isn't really a tropical climate like you'll find in Hawaii or Costa Rica. In fact, it was 46 degrees when I went to the gym this morning, but then it warmed up to the mid-60s later in the day. So it's not terrible, but it can be a bit of a surprise for people when they move here. And next up is our buddy Grown Up Gaming, who said, I should have known to buy a house right when I moved to San Diego, even if it meant having very little down. Now, obviously, hindsight is 2020. I get this a lot, personal frustration for not purchasing a home sooner. But we never know what's going to happen in the short term. We were in this situation right now where we've seen around a 20% home value increase year over year for the last 2 years up until around May. Interest rates shot up and then home prices started to slow down and they started actually coming down a little bit. But with interest rates starting to level out, it seems like prices are going to continue to go back up. And I can pretty much guarantee when you're looking at the long term, home values go up and to the right. You're looking at 5, 10, 15 years, those home values are going to increase and probably pretty substantially here in San Diego. Now, I can tell you this, a lot of people, they feel like they missed the boat, whether that's in real estate or Bitcoin or whatever it is. But my suggestion is to just make smart decisions based on your personal financial situation, you know that real estate always goes up over the long term, especially when there's a housing shortage like there is here in San Diego. Now, the next comment is from Jess Lyons, which is in reference to an image of the US that I posted that shows which states have a smaller population than San Diego County. And she said, I'm in Vegas and I thought this place was way more populated than most places. So that's really crazy to see. Let me put this in perspective for you. There are 3.35 million people in San Diego County, 1.382 million residents in the city of San Diego, and the population of the entire state of Montana is only 1.104 million people. That's right, more people in the city of San Diego than in the entire state of Montana. Now, if you've watched my channel before, I've said over and over again, I even said earlier in this video, there's a housing shortage here in San Diego, and that is the major driver of the affordability crisis that's going on. And to be honest, I've gotten a lot of slack about this, a lot of comments in my videos of people saying there's more than enough housing here in San Diego. I don't know what evidence they're actually showing of that, but I get it all the time. But there's something about this map showing the population of San Diego County versus other states that really puts things into perspective. You know, San Diego is known nationwide for being one of the most beautiful places with some of the best weather you can imagine. Now, of course, we have a lot of people moving here and they have to sacrifice the high cost of living so that they can enjoy this beautiful place and this beautiful weather. And next up is Mike D, who said both some parts of San Diego feel or are very far from the ocean, and the traffic patterns are an issue to plan where to live relative to work. Now, for the first part of that, you know, being far away from the ocean, I think it just depends. I work with a lot of clients that come out and they say, Dan, a 30 to 40 minute drive is everywhere we go where we're currently living. So coming to San Diego and having a 30 or 40 minute drive to the ocean is not a big deal. And the reality is you're never going to get more than 30 or 40 minutes to the ocean. Usually, if there's no traffic, 20 to 25 minutes is going to be tops from a lot of the places, especially if you're in the city of San Diego. But traffic to and from work, that's a big one. And it feels like it's sucked a lot lately. I don't know if it's just a holiday thing or what's going on, but the traffic it hasn't been very fun. And knowing how long it's gonna take to go to and from work is a really big deal. You can go onto Google Maps, you can plug in the time going from one place to the next. You should also probably physically do it yourself before you purchase a home if you think it's gonna be a 30 or 40 minute drive. Actually, try that out. Now, luckily, we have a lot more people that can work remote, or even I'm talking to a lot of people who have hybrid roles moving forward where they're going into the office maybe 2 or 3 days a week. So that 40-minute drive 5 days a week is like, who wants to do that? But if we're talking about 2, maybe 3 days a week, then maybe it's worth it for you to get a little bit more house. Now, luckily, this is something that we always discuss in our discovery session with our clients when they're looking to move to San Diego. That's a free Zoom call that we have for people to learn where to live, where to buy a house, and what neighborhood is best for you. So if that sounds helpful to you, I have a link down below. Myself, the Best Life Home Team, we would love to help you if you're looking to buy or sell a house here in San Diego County. Just click on that discovery session link and you'll have direct access to our calendar. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.